I should have seen it coming, right? The signs were there. Maybe they were neon flashing, maybe they were skywriting in my face, but apparently I was blind, deaf, and dumb all at once. Classic me. Last Thursday, Veronica decided it was finally time for her Broadway-level monologue. She sat me down after dinner with that rehearsed energy, like she'd been practicing in front of the mirror for days. "I'm done pretending," she said, her voice all dramatic. "I never loved you." I blinked, then nodded. "Finally, honesty. Thank you for that." Her face did a full Olympic routine: confusion, anger, triumphant victory, despair, and, was that a sneer? All in 2 seconds. "That's it? That's all you have to say?" she demanded. "You just told me our entire marriage was a lie. At least now we can stop pretending." I shrugged. "Seems like a fair suggestion." Naturally, she went full Shakespeare on me, complaining about how cold I was, how this proved I never loved her either, and then she hit me with the big guns. She wanted the house. Half of everything. And alimony because apparently she'd wasted her best years on me. I leaned back and said casually, "We should probably get lawyers involved." You know, like one casually tosses a grenade into an already tense kitchen conversation. Here's the kicker. Veronica had no idea that 6 months ago, I'd already admitted to myself what I'd been denying for years. Spoiler alert, she didn't just dislike me. Oh no, she actively despised me. My accomplishments? Indifference. My hobbies? Weird. My attempts at conversation? Eye roll central. Our anniversaries? Oh, just her and friends twice. I started preparing. Not for revenge. Oh no, that would require effort. But for the inevitable. I'd been living financially like a single man for months. Separate grocery runs. She never noticed I stopped eating her cooking. Separate streaming accounts. Created my own profiles. Stopped contributing to joint purchases. Oh, she wanted that new living room set? Sweet. She bought it herself, with our money. Which, by the way, was technically hers anyway. Yes, it's a legal nuance, but I like to keep my life spicy with technicalities. The business I started 3 years ago? Never added her as a partner. Rental property inherited from my uncle? Still mine. She didn't ask to be added, probably because she called it a dump, and refused to help manage it. My 401k? I switched the beneficiary to my sister months ago during open enrollment. Monday morning came and she got served. Not just divorce papers. No. Full financial disclosure. Everything laid out, mine, hers, and what was truly marital property. And the spoiler? It was way less than she imagined. The house bought before marriage with my grandmother's inheritance? Legally and ethically all mine. The dump, rental property generating $2,100 a month passive income? Also mine. The business she mocked? $180,000 and mine. Actual marital assets? 2 underwater car loans, about $15 in her savings, $8K in mine, and some furniture that neither of us will miss. And then, she called me screaming within an hour. How could I do this? How long had I been planning this? Why didn't I tell her about the business valuation? Oh right, because apparently my crime was being honest. Veronica, you just told me 3 days ago you never loved me. I'm just agreeing with you. We should both stop pretending. Stop pretending? I muttered to myself, shaking my head. Really? Because apparently 6 years of contempt disguised as a marriage is just a warm-up act for one emotional outburst. But I wasn't even upset. Not really. I mean, who wouldn't want to protect assets they earned before marriage? Or run a business that the other person mocked and never supported? You asked for honesty, Veronica. This is honesty. She hung up on me. Of course. Naturally. And then her family went full dial-up on my phone, blowing it up like I just declared war on humanity. Her mom left a voicemail, which I highly recommend everyone listen to at least once in their life. You're throwing away a good woman over one emotional outburst. One outburst, mind you, after 6 years of subtle disdain masquerading as a marriage. I'm not vindictive. I proposed a clean split. She keeps her car. I take mine, her savings, her retirement account. 3 months to find a new place? Sure, fine. But the house, the business, the rental, those stay with me. Then the lawyer theatrics started. Apparently, I'm now financially abusive, because I was secretly planning this. My lawyer laughed so hard I could hear it echoing through the office walls. Apparently, planning for a divorce isn't abuse. It's called not losing your shirt. Who knew? And then the plot twist, she started love-bombing me. Texts, photos. I didn't mean it, I was just stressed, we can work this out today. She even sent a photo from our wedding with a caption, remember this day. Yes, Veronica, I remember. I remember thinking I was the luckiest man alive. Turns out, you were thinking you'd lock down a meal ticket. I'm not angry anymore. I'm free. Free from pretending. Free from listening to her hour-long rants about coworkers I've never met. Free from pretending I didn't notice her mock me to her friends. We're finally being honest. Isn't that what she wanted? Update 1. Entitlement has officially leveled up. First act. Veronica tried to move her boyfriend into my house. Yeah, boyfriend. Apparently, I never loved you, comes with a side of, but I've been seeing Todd from my CrossFit for 8 months. She didn't bother to tell me directly, of course. She just showed up Saturday morning with him and a U-Haul, claiming that since she was still legally my wife, she had every right to move in a roommate to help with expenses. Todd stood there looking smug like he'd just solved world hunger, while she explained this was perfectly legal. I calmly showed them the printed email from my attorney. 3 months residence, yes. Moving in a new tenant without permission, no. Todd tried to get in my face all macho like, what kind of man throws out his wife? Oh, you mean the kind whose wife admitted she never loved him and has been cheating for 8 months? I asked sweetly. Todd blinked. I swear, his smug face deflated faster than a popped balloon. She didn't tell me that. Oh, but it gets better. When I refused to let Todd move in, Veronica decided to throw a divorce party at my house, while I was at work. She even charged it to a credit card she thought was still linked to my account. I came home to about 20 people in my backyard, a DJ, catered food, and a banner that said, "Finally free." ChatGPT said. The cops were surprisingly chill about the whole divorce party in my backyard situation. Honestly, I half expected them to bring donuts and join the conga line. Party got shut down real quick, which was a relief. The credit card she tried to use? Oh, just my old card I'd reported lost 6 months ago and replaced. Charges declined. Naturally. The party company is now chasing her for $3,200. I'm just imagining her trying to explain that to them. Yes, it's my ex-husband's backyard. Yes, I'm the ex. No, I didn't pay. Yes, I'm still legally married-ish. Comedy gold. But wait, there's more. She then decided my business, the one she never cared about, never asked about, and certainly never supported, was ripe for the taking. She marches in like she's the new CEO, tells my partner and employees she's co-owner, and that I'm having a mental breakdown. I mean, really, Oscar-worthy performance. She even tried to access our business bank account, claiming she was a partner. Thank God for paper trails. The bank manager called me immediately. I sent over our partnership agreement, spoiler, 0 ownership, and calmly informed all employees and clients. Professional? Probably not. Necessary? Absolutely. Her lawyer, apparently realizing fraud is frowned upon, dropped her like a hot potato. Now she's representing herself. Today she filed a complaint claiming I'm hiding assets because I must be secretly filthy rich. Her evidence? My refusal to buy generic cereal and my failure to clip coupons. Yep. Grocery store receipts. Honey Nut Cheerios as proof of hidden wealth. I wish I were joking. My lawyer is losing it. Meanwhile, Todd, her CrossFit beau, realized he wasn't actually in for the long haul once he figured out she wasn't getting the house or half the business. Gone. Poof. She's now posting cryptic motivational quotes online about knowing your worth and rising above betrayal. Ernie? Oh, thick enough to slice and serve with a side of popcorn. Tomorrow is our first settlement conference. She's demanding the house she doesn't own, 50% of my business she doesn't own, lifetime alimony in a state that caps it at 5 years, my grandmother's '67 Mustang, and $100 for emotional damages, because apparently, cereal and sarcasm aren't enough to cover emotional suffering. Counteroffer remains the same. Clean split of actual marital assets, 3 months to move out, everybody walks away. Her mom called again, crying naturally. You're destroying my baby girl. I paused. Ma'am, are you aware she's been living with my utilities trying to steal my tenants, and was already cheating for 8 months? Silence. Finally, you drove her to it by being emotionally unavailable. All right. That explains everything. Forget 6 years of contempt, the lies, the fraud, the empty vows. My failure to act like a mind reader? That's clearly the crime here. She hung up. The wildest part? Veronica somehow convinced herself I'm the unreasonable one. Yep, apparently her announcing she never loved me is just like mentioning the weather. Oh, honey, cloudy with a chance of betrayal, but that's normal, right? She genuinely cannot fathom why I won't just shrug, roll over, and hand her half of everything I own before she waltzed into my life. Update 2, the settlement conference. Oh boy. Veronica shows up in a full designer outfit, tags tucked but still visible, because subtlety is clearly overrated, and immediately starts crying about how she's been forced to live in absolute poverty since I kicked her out. Meanwhile, she's still in my house rent-free, using my utilities, apparently in the throes of the Great Depression of nail appointments. The mediator, trying to keep her poker face intact, asks her to clarify what she means by poverty. Veronica, ever the dramatist, explains she had to cancel her monthly spa membership and, gasp, cannot afford weekly nail appointments. I swear I saw the mediator's eye twitch like it was trying to escape her head. Then she played what she clearly thought was her ace. "I'm pregnant," she declared with all the gravitas of a Lifetime movie plot twist. She said she found out last week and demanded I immediately halt the divorce, for the sake of our non-existent child. My lawyer, bless him, calmly asks for proof. Veronica replies she doesn't need to prove it. The mediator, ever the realist, explains that yes, she actually does. Her grand reveal? A pregnancy test photo she pulled from Pinterest. I can almost hear the collective sigh of every sane person in the room. The mediator recognized it. Apparently, this isn't her first rodeo with fake baby drama. Caught red-handed, she completely unravels, sobbing that the stress I've caused led to a miscarriage of the non-existent pregnancy. The mediator wisely calls a break. During the break, her new lawyer, desperate enough to take the case for a potential cut of winnings, tries to argue that my business was actually her idea. His evidence? A text from 3 years ago where she suggested, "Why don't you do something with computers since you're always on yours?" That's it. That was her founding contribution to ITT Consulting. Oscar-worthy, really. Then karma, finally showing up with a dramatic entrance, made itself known. Remember that rental property she called a dump? The one she refused to help with? Well, she decides to take matters into her own hands. She shows up, tells my tenants I'm a slumlord headed to prison, and that they should stop paying rent to me and give it to her instead, because apparently she's the real owner now. She even handed them a lease with her signature. My tenants, a lovely retired couple with far too much patience, immediately called me. And, of course, they recorded the whole thing on their Ring doorbell. Fraud, attempted theft, impersonation, all on camera. Honestly, I almost laughed when my lawyer insisted I press charges. "This isn't about revenge," he said. Sure, I nodded like I'd totally been planning a fun little vendetta over unpaid spa bills. "No, this is about protecting myself and my business from someone who clearly graduated top of her class in Crazy 101. So, she got arrested last Tuesday. I mean, suddenly her bargaining power went from queen of the world to, maybe I should have read the fine print on property law. Her lawyer, bless his briefcase, dropped her faster than you can say, Honey Nut Cheerios. Her mom finally stopped calling after I sent the Ring footage. Even her friends have gone eerily quiet. Maybe they finally realized supporting a fraudster isn't a great life choice. At the final hearing yesterday with her now representing herself, because why hire professionals when you can wing it? She tried one last move. She claimed I'd been emotionally manipulating her for years, forcing her to pretend she didn't love me, and that her confession was my fault because I'd apparently programmed her to hurt herself. Yep. I almost asked for a witness to take notes. This was comedy gold. The judge, God bless her, looked over her glasses and said, "Ma'am, are you claiming your husband manipulated you into having an 8-month affair?" Well, when you put it like that, yes you are. Please continue. She couldn't. Final judgment, clean split of actual marital assets, about $11,000 each after debts. She has 30 days to vacate the house, not the 3 months I generously offered. No alimony. She's responsible for her own legal fees. The fraud charges? Separate and ongoing. Walking out of the courthouse, she made one last attempt at redemption. "I did love you, you know, in my own way." My response naturally was dripping with irony. "Your way included lying, cheating, and trying to steal from me. You never fought for me. If you loved me, you would have fought for me." Veronica, bless her soul, stood there genuinely confused, like she still doesn't understand that actions have consequences. "You were supposed to love me enough to ignore all that," she said, or maybe that was a question. Either way, it perfectly summed up our marriage. I was supposed to love her enough to ignore that she didn't love me back. She moved out yesterday. Left the key on the counter with a note. Honestly, I hope she's happy now. Me? I am. Genuinely happy for the first time in years. I'm dating someone new. Met her at a small business owner meetup. She actually asks about my day. She thinks my rental property is a smart investment. She celebrates my wins. Turns out, when you stop pretending, when you stop accepting less than basic respect, when you stop financing someone else's contempt for you, life gets a lot better. Veronica posted on social media yesterday about surviving narcissistic abuse and finding her truth. The comments are not supportive. Of course not. Because apparently the world agrees with the woman who tried to throw a party in my backyard, move her boyfriend into my house, and claim my business as her own. Todd's new girlfriend apparently found Veronica's post and felt the need to add some context about the timeline of their relationship, with receipts. Receipts. Like she's running a courtroom drama in Instagram stories. Then my ex-mother-in-law sent me one last text. Classic. I'm sorry we didn't raise her to be like this. I stared at my phone, blinked a few times, and thought, yeah, I'm sure raising a narcissist is just one of those parenting oversights. I didn't respond. Some things just don't need words. The fraud case is still pending, but my lawyer says she'll likely get probation and have to pay restitution to the party company and maybe even damages to me for trying to steal my rental income. Living the dream. She's now back with her parents, working at her dad's accounting firm. Oh, the irony. Meanwhile, the gossip mill is running at full speed. Apparently, she tells everyone I financially abused her by hiding my premarital assets. Yes, hiding assets that were legally mine. Truly villainous. You know what's the absolute cherry on top? She genuinely still believes she's the victim. In her mind, I'm the bad guy. I'm the villain who refused to hand over assets I owned before meeting her. I didn't let her boyfriend move into my house. I didn't fund her lifestyle after she confessed she never loved me. Clearly I should feel guilty. Spoiler alert, I don't. I stopped pretending to. The house is finally peaceful. I renovated the master bedroom myself. Something she never would allow because apparently, hiring a $20,000 designer was non-negotiable. Cost me $3,000. Looks amazing. My business just landed a huge contract. The rental property? Waiting list out the door. Life's good when you stop pretending it isn't. Edit, since some people asked, yes, the fraud charges are real and ongoing. No, I don't feel bad. She tried to steal from my tenants. That's a crime, not a quirky life choice. And yes, I'm eating the Mustang. Because she never even had a license. Love this story? Like, share, and subscribe for more epic audio adventures. Stay curious and keep listening.